Ebusian for what a moment to be a Ghanaian. Yedenyamia say Sabre Ade Atnyache ewo Ghana abo anopa nonkuno ewo Ghana apaho sima enwotwe akabe donhwe bako efi Sabre koyano Parliament of Ghana beko live na ne nyina ne se omampani nana Addo dankwa Akufo-Addo president Ghana yetuaba edi no in afi apim 2017 ena yeso any in 2017 ena wasan swear in the year 2020 ordina mamo ko awieye na sede Ghana amamra etie no ewo se omampani na Addo dankwa Akufo-Addo wotumi ekire yen tibia ya Ghana ewom ewo Ghana mamramu afibia afina hyase ne afino kɔ na wieye no omampani a wote adwaso no wohia omanfo ebo amane kyerɛ tibia ya omanmu no nyina ewom de yefrɛ no message of the state of the nation no ebre edu sɛ omampani ede ebrayen na enchebia no yebeko live ewo parliament na fe yede de ekoso ede abro na wahu tibia no ene nsemu a ekoso na sabre ya ye twen se eno ebeba so no eniema bi esisi ewo New Patriotic Party amanyuko no mu a yebepese yebema womanfo ehu New Patriotic Party amanyuko mpanifo Echo National Council meeting Emma Cecilia Meno Ekaseno Wonomo Akwakoyi the leadership of the minority incoming minority no basono. This is how the leadership is going to be like. One leadership bewo parliament no Orua Alexander Afenyo Markin said Eddie Kamamwanya Ntieno confirmed wono eno be minority leader. NFA gender balance no apply ewo honomo Mami Patricia Apiaje wono enobe deputy minority leader. Enunti sa ena ebekoso wo mai mrashe bejefie mu wo bra mrashe bejefie we akwawiye after the dissolution of this parliament no next parliament no Mami Patricia Apiaje ena wo beye deputy minority leader ena Owura Franka Nodompre ne ho afa no ye papa won so woma do agiri ansa na wotumi nya ne confirmation ene New Patriotic Party mpanifo Echo National Council meeting no wa confirming Owura Anodompre se wono eno obeye minority chief whip ewo omeyi emra shebejefie mu Owura Jerry Ahmed be second deputy minority whip ena Owura Habib Idris be first deputy minority whip enunti decision say minority incoming minority no ateki enye enunti na chese yema mu hu say decision NPP for penifo ateki no Owura Alexander Afenyo Markin has been confirmed as the incoming minority leader enunti wono ena obe lead the NPP for ewo parliament ewo minority no emo ebusuya yedikan abomu say very soon ye be cross over to parliament na Jumadi no shase yankasa no na fe yama womanfo ehum na New Patriotic Party amanyuko meeting na ene woye ewo Alisa Hotel no another decision MPP for eteki yeni MPP for ati committee election review committee adwuma election review committee no ebe say enese woba na waba beje reports ede free emiamia ene MPP amanyuko empanifo no na wabisa wo na wahu de nam so ma MPP amanyuko abano a yekoto na no MPP for enwunu saa ohwe nkugo no eba ye no a ano den dodo eno nti say apart from decision na MPP mpanifo ko take ye parliament ene ma wono mo asigina yese say no de Owura Alexander Afenyo Markin ne nkrofo ena eko no was sign take another decision eno eye empanifo a wayi won se won ena wono mo ebekọ akogigi emanfo adwenkyere unim se NDC elusu 2016 election no Professor Kwesi Botwe committee wote ye eko round the country ejiji nkrofo adwenkyerɛ ma nkrofo pɔ won heart out ɛkyerɛ de nam so susu sɛ ɛde nkugo ɛbrɛ NDC ɛno bi ɛna sɛ New Patriotic Party mpanimfo ayɛ ɛno nti no sɛ wohwɛ mu a na kyerɛ sɛ mpanimfo a wɔn mo ɛbɛwɔ committee no so no ɛna wondin ɛwɔ aha no mo sisi yi ma mehwɛ sɛ metumi azumi in na wahu mpanimfo no a wɔn mo edin wɔ ha no mo asese wɔn ɛna wɔbɛda committee no anom deɛ ne din edi kan a wɔyɛ chairman ɛde ma election review committee ya New Patriotic Party National Council atie no ɛyɛ Professor Right Honorable Professor Mike Okwe kaneno na wɔyɛ Speaker of Parliament ɛwɔ ɔmayi mmarahyɛbadwafie mu wɔno na ɔbɛyɛ chairman ɛno akyi Professor Emerita ya Ntiamoa Beidu wɔyɛ member ɛde ma saa committee no ɛna afei Professor Kofi Osei Ekuoko ɛyɛ member Professor Samuel Bet Boadi Kusi yɛ member ɛna afei Dr. Felix Yamua ɛnso yɛ member ɛna afei Dr. Joseph Ejapon Damoy wɔno deɛ menim no wɔyɛ member ɛna chairman FFanto Penny FFanto enso ɛka committee no ho wɔn ɛna wɔkɔgye amanebɔ Penny FFanto yɛnim no wɔ santememu dwuma wadidi ama MPP amanyoko nipa ɔtɔ so nwɔtwe ɛyɛ Kwaku Domfe ne din ɛka list no ho wɔne a wɔkɔgye amanebɔ election review committee yɛ New Patriotic Party ate sɛ wɔn mo no wɔkɔ ane MPP amanyoko mpanifo akɔ kasa na afei wahu sɛ den ne kɔyɛ den na nkɔ yie Honorable Gifty Kusi enso eka ho bi kane former member of parliament wono nso eka ho bi ya wono nso eka committee no ho Honorable Abdullahi Abanga enso ka ho bi ena fei Owura Sedu Nasigri Esquire wono nso ka ho bi member secretary Owura William Yamwa wono ena member secretary waka committee no ho yede mamehwe term of reference yede ama wono New Patriotic Party was the National Council on Thursday January 2nd 2025 constituted an election review committee to conduct a postmortem on the party's participation and performance in the recently concluded 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections and to make appropriate recommendation. The former Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Mike Aaron Okwe, will chair the committee. And no any statement a free MPP and penny for Honomo Abba. Enunti Ejuma ya yede ashesa empeni for enseni na committee no. Babontina encrophobi astati kasa mame hwese metumi enya report we de amawa esanse nipa bi buafu New Patriotic Party amanyuko emanu bi enso kyerese da bi committee we de committee ben kra nie na committee akoya nkokorafo committee MPP for manu bi kyerese uhwe committee no asen kokorafo nko a Professor Michael Kwe wenyi Professor Merita yanti amwanyi Professor Kofi Osai mpenifo wesu ye adwuma ensem hye nkrofo bo a nkrofo peso kasa pa enu nti na wobete committee a wo ma mrantie na sese so de ye tete ne se mpenifo kyerese say as attention wo MPP amanyuko no obi ebuafu obi a blame obi enu nti mpanimfo committee no wo ye se ene won hwehwe mpanimfo bi no mu atise yi a won hu ni asem a enkonko base bia we badwen se we akotai we achi anase we etai we achi we faction anase we faction no enti wonyi mpanimfo a wani mu edu a kyerese wokɔ baabi a nkrɔfo de wani mfɛre ɛbɛkasa na wobetumi di dwuma na mana yie ne nkɔnkɔba sɛ yesuma obi sɛ wɔnkɔ a nkrɔfo bi badwen sɛ sɛ nipa we de ebia no we afa na so we afa ɛno nti saa mpanimfo yi ɛna wɔpɛ sɛ woyi wɔn nanso committee no report ɛba abɔnten no ma memfa Facebook post we enkyerɛ wo na hwɛ comment one of the MPP amanyuko no ɛma no baako yɛ ne din ɛne Dompaino wakɔtwerɛ ɛde ato Facebook was say this committee must be disbanded ASAP and reconstituted or say as a MPP de nkokora ne mrewafo noa na modi won ye biribia say who is there to connect with the youth. Professor Michael Kwe is almost 80 and over 80 and can barely walk. Gifty Kusi is 80 and others too are certainly older folks. How are these people going to tour the whole country and carry out their mandate? See, we all know that Professor Kwesi Botwe was active when NDC gave him that mandate. It is about time the youth of MPP rose up and told these octogenarians that we are grateful for their service, but they must take back seat and allow us to run the show. Don't find no comment no na o the post ko hwe ase a enkrofo bebre enso share opinion mamini kan ka say mami gift kusi oni 80 we di 60 and 20 don't find no got it we di 66 say last year no di 66 and gift kusi edie enti wondi 80 enti e bia wono de ni age no wo mu kakra ba say de wo ka no it makes sense. MPP for no being so Edwano to be HS or her committee no aye suma won se won ko round the country enquire say adwuma ye Professor Michael Kwe, Professor Emerita Yanti Amoa, Professor Kofi Ose ko empanimfo nyina no won fie kwa ni mudodo enu nti ebe ya an campanimfo enhwe se wobetumi amakwan nanka wama emrantie no bi abam mame hwe se metumi anya New Patriotic Party amanyuko empanimfo wonomo ekọ one meeting, National Council meeting, they see wo hono no bie no yenhwe se betumi anya pictures no bia ohwa we Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ena one Alexander Afenyomarkin ho afa no papa eka kete na nkrofo campaign de etia no se da bi eni se wono na ye fa no se minority leader bi mrahye beje fie mu nanso amane eche se wo call meeting wonya support ma mpanifo tai na chi eno nti wo hu se wone Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na ejina ahadom no ohwe nanimu a nanim sre ahadom so wo hu MPP mpanifo no bi ho no former chairman Freddie Blay and a former general secretary so and what's the more one or Afenyomarkin aiding common women pictures I free National Council New Patriotic Party meeting our John Boadu cratch MPP for Yana adia or the no and Crawford blaming and chief of staff and so na ehage the incoming minority leader no and non so humfuni and edaha no no my area between more pictures at the amawa after the announcement say Alexander Afenyomarkin papa we so a say wonnimu a me secret bi atro say there is a massive support in MPP all angles say Kwabena Japan enye the next chairman of MPP se wunya hint no a ene mi yi honomo e de ama se Kwabena Japan ena se MPP for bebre erutu e de ama no se obeye the next chairman of New Patriotic Party yen trust na yen hwe nanim sere I like the resilience ye na different party no nyina wako asan aba eno achi no uhunu outgoing member of parliament and so ewo ahanomo papa we MPP for peno papa no oba sisi an ma hwese menya ne picture papa we yes e friend no Dr. China, say Professor China, say Dr. China, and national chairman, you say then MPP for Sika, Dr. Bawumia, Sika BS, what they call SMFA, Intriama MPP for registration near there, and no one said then Crawford story when so no, minim say committee no kono, and Crawford be bold, yen the arty or form no, say Papa we MPP for. Binum blamino seriously for the defeat say what na eniema so wono so nimfoni ene da hono no wohwe hanom so a penia woye MPP amanyuko twofo peni Justin Kodua Esquire ena wone the incoming minority leader eti hono a wono edi enkomo no asem wesi ye ewo parliament there be way at Lisa Hotel yeah train parliament be call live very soon parliament call live I be mu na ye de betum ho no mo ye memu bio kopim so mampani Akufo-Addo edi na no December to dwa Justin Kodua enso eneti ho no no entity a yeti ene se nkrofo sorry Justin Kodua den se eye obedi ba akopɛ eno ano no enya de so obekɔbium eno so ne ho nsɛm ene da hɔ no no who chief of staff for hanom sɛ wo congratulating Professor Aaron Okwe ene ti hɔ no no na seat we die hwe seat ni ye hwe mpanimfo na ete ho no ma memfa men wo kakra da bi hwe seat ni ye owura Freddie Blaine ete ho no no uhu Kwabena je Japan Honorable Kennedy Akompreko Japan Ena Kwabena Tahiru Hammond Honorable Katie Hammond outgoing Mrashebijeni Ena Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament former Michael Kwe ete ho no musa seat we loaded Seatway a loaded. A Sansa Canada Japan is going to make a move. Actually, dear Yati, you know, Yebema Mwati, yet was na Yahre. Okay, Peninoa, what yes, you know, or share at idea blue no so, where director of elections at the map NPP Amanyuko Ewo presidency. In fact, 2016, one on the predictions etomu pepe 2020. So the predictions etomu pepe. And until 2024. Or didn't prediction share the bottom one and Crawford say, and Yaman Koye. Just say, who the ankon or no the predictions are correct. But we MPP ninti, who say Unkoye information in ya and say, what the children penny for no say, penny for the avenue, I didn't Koye, but one publish it. Kaneno na our political science department and MPP Amanyuko for Kofano about office of the president and Orura Newman no a director of research a free mono any appointing no Edinburgh office of the president MOB director of research one also now we meeting no say ebi uhu ahanmo so we heavy seats Mame poso heavy seat in bio na hwe meeting no said the eniema esikoye Dr. Mamudu Bawumia ti hono omampani na na Kufuado tenenchen Justin Kodua ene ti hono mo ena the incoming minority there be picture we dey a loaded omampani ani munyefe Dr. Bawumia de nsa agu ne ho ena chese ohwe said the ekono a enkasa bre new patriotic party ato aba wie no Alisa Hotel NMPP for beko akotena se na wo beko akoyi wono mo chairman for ene wono mo mpani for na nso meeting we de ankwa ankoba na sa omampani ani munyefe hwe picture ni ye asemo aba enye MPP na yenim no nie enye MPP no yenim no nie asem kese pa ena aba no uhu se omampani ani munyefe chairman ani munyefe ena Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia enso eno de nsa gu ne ho no ma yento aso na yehwe said the photos no echo Kwabena Tahiru Hammond Katie Hammond NYM resa no bibi etumi kramo ena bibi etumi no ebusuya New Patriotic Party Amanyuko meeting na ekoso ene ewa Lisa Hotel no papa we de bia Orua Hackman Owusu Adjournment eneti wono Gabi Asare ochire dako nasini papa we ni ba ena Gabi Asare ochire dako eware no mua munim no seconds eno no owusikati se bro sika de ebihye no pa ne ba ena Gabi eware no yen traso na yenhwe infoni no na New Patriotic Party Amanyuko yewra nko obedi mampani ebedi ekire abonchen enunti yebeto aso na yakoyenim na chese meeting ya New Patriotic Party empany for ekoye ye no eno eho asem no na ye bisase MPP edi enti na New Patriotic Party Amanyuko entumi headquarters eso ti se NDC for de no na obe meeting bia okwakoye wo hono mo enkrofo nti asese da bia MPP be crucial meeting bia agi se woko high Alisa Hotel unim de nti a NDC started se wo si one more head office ya ewo enkran no ena former central secretary central regional minister Kwamina Duncan da bia do peace fema NDC for headquarters I was in pem chamu enu nti MPP ba konwa so no wantumi ansi headquarters da bia MPP eco meeting ewo Alisa Hotel enu nti Alisa Hotel meeting no ena yede ehun update ene ehun photos yede abrewo no na sesi yi de ye twen yeguso twen se beye na eniema yebetumi ehun de ekoso ye twen parliament se be start no ye mamu ahu de si wo parliament enra mrashebejafo epam wo bia fi parliament sika wakwa approve nie 68.1 billion Ghana cedis unim de ntia sika no wosro sa no ex gratia wo debate ex gratia de omi no nyina ka bomu epam obi afi dan no mu ema NPP NDC emra shebjafo agye to mo kire say first quarter of the year 2025 ye wuramu no budget what they be adwuma ne 68.1 billion na 68.1 billion no article 71 holders nyina one more ex gratia wom obi abeje next 4 years obi abesen age Nkrofo be raising issues with this ex gratia asem se sa ex gratia yi empanimfo hwe na wontumi nsi hu ginaye na se obi ya mrahye bidwani ye bema na ex gratia no kra no a ebia waserve awie a wo no because wo je obi ti se owura bagbena watena parliament for so long every 4 years bi obaji enye sika ketwa enu nti ebe ya empanimfo nsi ginaye na wonye ne se wo de parliament no ba breso se wo kwa ni ya pe bibi de agya okwan na every year bia na de ya ne se MPs no ebe akontokwa nanso edru ex gratia de eno de a eno ane se obehu se mrahyebyafo no ya pam obi a se obi ampie obi a pie ye no eno debate ye wona wo kire won wo decide sika no ahe a ye de betua won 68.1 billion. Ghana na politicians ni mienu eka kire yen se Ghana no sika bia eni honom no mu amunim no. This is the breaking news. Enra Parliament ekwa asetena no opam obi ano. This is the confirmation here aba 68.1 billion. Ena wono mu approve ede oman no wose oman no sika ya yebedi no first quarter no mu na emu fakese no ano eko ede akwa akɔhye ex gratia mu eno hu nsem ena eda ho no mu abusuafo yebetoa so na yahwe nsem foforo enra there was a statement yahwe statement we mamenkire wade say wo hunu say Ministry of Information enka statement we Minister for Information ena ne nsasha se so wonya hu sa faide statement say ba na chief director ana acting chief director ena ne nsasha se kire o se tumi eko we inauguration hu statement ena acting chief director yo Ministry of Information de ababonten nyame ya domo a 7th year ebe ye de omampanin John Dramani Mahama esi akonwa so say president of the republic ena wo kire se ma obia metu drone ewo ho enu nti we warning to media houses amoy madwen se mo ebe cover sa program no media houses amo be cover sa program no nyina no ewo se mu hu se empenifo ayen hihye se mo bia nkotu drone enu nti we very important messenger empenifo ede aba enra we the Minister of Information and nsasha se makache o se hu se abmamu na dru baby na fe chief director ena sign statement say ya na wo hu se tumi afri obi nsa tumi eko na yeguso mamu ahu de ekoso enra nyame ya domo a emrahyebyafo register na wonomo akwakoto yaso emrahyebyafo in na nso breaking news abanie mrahyebyani bi wo honomo a wontumi enkoye registration no bi esanse there is an injunction edane so mame famrastro na hwe we injunction ya eko ede etia honorable Kwame Apia Kodua na wono ena sesi we president member of parliament elect for Fantia Kwa North sesi ameno kasa no yesiu no injunction edane so se enyade se yebetimi a register no enu nti injunction we ya eda papa no so no amane ayensa kan se clerk of parliament ne nsa kan was survey Emma 31st of this month and a clerk of parliament in Sakasa letter way and unti Fantia Kwa North constituency Member of Parliament elect Honorable Kwame Appiah Kodua amanebo ya yensa kan eno no say was it motion by Isaac M. Labi Esquire wono and a lawyer was a counsel and on behalf of the applicant hearing praying this honorable court for an order of injunction against Honorable Speaker of Parliament and Clerk of Parliament restraining from one registering or further registration of Honorable Kwame Appiah Kodua as Member of Parliament for Frontier Akwa North and the swearing in of Honorable Kwame Appiah Kodua. And when Honorable Kwame Appiah Kodua niti anye ye asese a me no kasa yi no injunction edane so Clerk of Parliament abea na so se ne nsa kan letter no enu nti injunction no eye adwuma enti papa yi enya de se obetumi asoe in asemu a asi ewo ehonum no enu nti ebusuafo se wote se Frontier Akwa North Member of Parliament yentimi answe ne ina na asemu a esie eno no yeguso edi nsemu a esisi ewo Ghana yede ebrew na ni nyina no eye prelude to a next State of the Nations address omampeni na nado danko Akufo-Addo the State of the Nations address de etwato kra oye we wie a ebi nsi biem omampeni Akufo-Addo onye State of the Nations address bio fellow Ghanaians etwato ya Ghana for betia nie wonti fellow Ghanaians no biem ewo baabi a de etwato ya omampeni Akufo-Addo woba na waba beye nie na yebeyi emfoni akyerɛw State of the Nations address ahodo ya omampeni Akufo-Addo waye ene ne fellow Ghanaians omampeni Akufo-Addo enkrofo aboniyem nanso ne fellow Ghanaians de yebɛkae no pa na yebɛkae no nso a yebɛkae no covid mremu said de ne titru anwumre bia woba na wabe fellow Ghanaians ne what the fellow Ghanaians de twatwa kwakwa what the bebreyem. It is expected say omampeni bakasa na wachrekre tibia a woja oman no ewom say yeswe in omampeni John Dramani Mahama enu nti quarter way na no yebenya State of the Nations address mi no omampeni John Dramani Mahama next month February mu wobeko Parliament na transition awie yasweni in report wonya tibia potia Ghana yewom no we de yebetie said omampani Akufo-Addo kire se woja oman no ede ama John Dramani Mahama yewie a February omampani John Dramani Mahama nso beba na de edija no no wono nso abebom na wakire mu ama Ghana fo nyina hu tibia potin ene oman no yede agya no said the oman no ewom enu nti omampani State of the Nations address ena ye twen no aka sima beye dunuma kakakra bi na Parliament eco live na fe yede atum na yahwe program ni nyina fu na yahwe said oman no tibia ya yewomu empenifo announce Ghana holidays ahodo statement way eba enra efi Ministry of Interior enunti se wo Ghana se wohwe na uhu wo share these holidays enso New Year day de eno na atwam kwada ye atwam no na 7th January no ede omampani John Dramani Mahama esi akonwa so no ebe holiday wo Ghana a ye frɛ no Constitution Day 7th January, Independence Day, 6th March, and no day, a honomo, Edada, any Idil Fatal, dear, Edano, Union Cremofo, Eddie Bebre, Abai, enti, wohu, Bosomeno near there, a tree, and a beba, and I'm say any dapotin, no, date be any honomo. I feel Good Friday, and no, the MC, we are seeing April boss me there tosu dungotre ena ebesi April 18th ena Easter Monday 21st April and also a holiday ena May Day and so be 1st May ena Founders Day unim say omampani Akufo-Addo ba konwa so holidays mienui wanu no de bae bako Founders Day sa founders no apostrophe no ewo s nechi wo se wo de no gina ho e de ma obia oboaye Emma Ghana enya ye fa hudi eno ne yefrɛ no Founders Day yeah eno ne 4th August ena omampani Akufo-Addo esan de holiday baako ebaye ye 21st September eno no edin ode to so Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day yeah eno no Kwame Nkrumah ne birthday eno omampani Akufo-Addo no holiday eno nti eno nso ebesi ebo ana September bosumi da ye to so aduonu baako ena Farmers Day ebesi 5th December openima bosumi da to so enum ena Farmers Day ebesi ena fei Christmas Day ebesi 25th December ena Boxing Day enso ebesi 26 said wiase babia esienom na onim se kane no na nka 25th May holiday omampani Akufo-Addo bae no obetwa mu enu nti waye no commemoration day African Union Day ena 1st July no ana Republic Day no so say a commemoration day yeah eno de edu hono mo a enye holiday bia we a statement a free Ministry of Interior aba yeah chese eno no kire said or afi holidays ahodo ebesi akọ abusua enche bia no yebekọ Parliament live na yekọ akọhwe de ekoso ewo honomo na yetwen se yebekọ Parliament live no abusua ye kaimu yenkọ back na yenhwe last State of the Nations address omampani Akufo-Addo ye no hwemfoni no bi na hye enema bi nso Ghana we are blessed ubehunu former president-elect, incoming president John Dramani Mahama. So obetena se na OT State of the Nations address. Obehu former president kofo se oti honomo na ye nyina Ghana yeye nipa baako. It's so beautiful. Bibisa ena ene ye hwe kwan se yebehu. Eno nti mame hwe se menya eno mfoni no bi na mede atrewo a na ye hwe speaker tade efe. Last State of the Nations address said the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament addressing yeni Honourable Kingsford Agban Sumano Bagben ne addressing yeah what they call State of the Nations address no any yentu aso na yenhwese uhu ahanomo omampani na nado dan Akufo-Addo say watch here minority leader ene na bedi echire uhu Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia so se wodi echire ohwamfoni no efeye aposifo empanifo uhu Owura Akufo Dampare ewo hanomo wone ne posi empanifo yende de yetete eno no se anhweyi a Akufo Dampare John Dramani Mahama His Excellency be maintain no ne na ye adwuma se IGP de yetete no ansana Owura Dr. George Akufo Dampare na appointment no beba no enkrofobia won mo MPP mu a na won mo aposifo wosusu se wo aposifo nso MPP fo na won pese Dr. George Akufo Dampare ebeye IGP no na wo ne Akufo-Addo yete yenya ho information nyina ni nyina ne se wobra na President Mills etiase no Dr. George Akufo Dampare na owo castle na woye ni ADC wono ena na ogina nachi wone omampani John Dramani Mahama ye adwuma enkrofo ni mayonkofa ya eda John Dramani Mahama ene Dr. George Akufo Dampare entem enti na nkrofo bebre speculate se Emma omampani Akufo-Addo enyi no enyesa going into 2024 election no obema security mu akofom ama ha MPP amanyuko nanso omampani Akufo-Addo eyi no de echitae sonko de manom say entity a yete ne say nipa bi nso a wonom ya posifo empanifo a won so susu say what tilted towards NDC nso chese da bi Dr. George Akufo Dampare wodi ne mre a wonko NDC for nso ewa posi for no bi hyehyemu a wonso odi IGP eye sesi ame no ekasa information a ye pekene de ekoso ewo Ghana Police Service mu no enye asem kuma na se de ebeko bia no nyame adom every 7th ekono yebehu pictures a ye de every way eye emfoni ahodo ya Parliament etwitwa ye wo bra omampani Akufo-Addo ne last State of the Nations address a wo ye no de esisi ye eno nti to bo na hwemfoni no bi na memfa nwom kakra nto ase enyenye wa baba na yɛfi hɔ nom a na afei yɛkɔ parliament. ebusiafo sesi vice president and waba bedu a owremu no vice president one ne yere Samira Baumia. Wow. Very difficult to keep a smiling face a drew situation mu say ya nanso obey ne den vice president na kono wababidu vice president abedu de yenim said the next person to arrive his excellency president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ebusia maru mfi say ene the last day omampani benya sa anaway benya this opportunity benya sa dwumadie wonyina wuramu a obedika ko speaker office ne no akotwetwen enkomo akosinsan guest book any ade ansana so na no ankasa abaso eno nti yehu se omampani abede twe ababedu die the next person I hear so ababedu ebeye omampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo dignitaries no enyina ababedu ye hu dignitaries nyina sese ye twen se omampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo enso beba na wababedu State of the Nation's address live ena yede ebrewo no eno nti koso na ene yen entina ewo hanomo sese omampani Akufo-Addo ena ye twen se wobeba na wababedu obedu ya na fe yede de ekoso bia yede ebrewo ye picky feed no across board ye wie na parliament ekopepe pa yede de ekoso inside enso ebebremo na fe mo hu de ekoso say de aka enese omampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo wobeba na wababedu enti ye twan se omampani beba bedu na obeko round navy for ene warrior guard no enti guard of honor no every Ghana Navy wobebo national anthem na fei wia omampani anante ede akom mostly no edu sabre ya obehu se aponko edi omampani enim emano ye fe pa yenje omampani so de etwato esanse de etwato kra omampani Akufo-Addo beye enya sa enyeji soi mama nka sa enie enti ye twen vice president ababedu de the next person to arrive ebeye omampani enti yento aso. We're joining in live. We're coming to you live from the State House, Parliament House of Ghana, and yede live broadcast a day Ebrewo. His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the last State of the Nation's address, and wode ebe na sesi abo anopanundu apaho simamienu ewo Ghana. And any moment from now, no, or Mampeni Beba, na Yehuse Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, Wabana na Yireka no, Wababedu Asum Jemum. I don't know, sir, His Excellency, President, former President John Dramani Mahama, incoming President elect. And the title's not also. My name say, this time round, Wabeba na, isan say, waya almost. If you break your fee power no State of the Nation's address bia or Ghana bia no woko wono ankasa ko ekotena hono ekotie bi enu ntina meka say Ghana we are blessed adie we Ivory Coast, Togo, even Nigeria mokra no a very difficult sesa nima we ABC Ghana nyame ehyayen ama abroso enu nti sesi e hu se de soja fo no e move no a na chese very soon no Mampeni beba bedu menim se ene His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene nso wobeba na se ne de ebia sabre wo sisi ne hom abetena konwa so nti ebia akra obeda baabi na wagena hom ya na sesen enu nti ye twen se Mampeni Akufo-Addo ebeba bedu sese eba no se ya ye de dwumadie no ankasa no nanka e wo se 3 minutes ago ena nanka eso obedu na wonim se sometimes eniema no do se ya obetwen signal the free Parliament kase bra ena woba I see security man be a oha no more say I know say on former President John Dramani Mahama ena eye adwuma menim say ebia wogina ho no no say former President John Dramani Mahama wobeba ana foreign dignitaries one mo esi aban anem wa ban anemu e wo Ghana nso dwumade esi wonyina so no wotumi ebabi eno ena ye hu se ebi mu arrive no edru se ya e wo so mampani no hwese sankrofo nyina aba ansana wotumi enya confirmation e de a free parliament se hono mo se BBC e wo se wotumi eba ye twen se ye besan enya feed no back enya feed na ye besan akoback whilst ye twen se yebenya feed no back no de yebeye sese ene se yebehwe se yebesan akoback na yakwakohwe de ekoso emfoni ahodo ya etwaguo ewo hono nyina no yebekọ na yasan na yakọ na yakwakofa eno nti yankoback na yankohwe de ekoso ewo ehono. Ebusiafo ye go so at the live broadcast at the Ebreo every Parliament of Ghana ye mamu States of the Nations address koso ewo omeyimo se ya yesi mpwene so ka ntwene so die na kyese enche bia omampani Akufo-Addo beba bedu eno na se yi obia etwen mo amasende ye messages no yeda mo ase bebre ya du fie wasende ye message wo say wow yeda se wasende ye message ya du fie nyame enhira wo bebre ena afen so no hwan so message ne wo say ne den de Bernard Muse wo say Ghana is blessed minua ampao Ghana odi yen toto abibre amai bebre no ho a otimu say nyame wo hira yen yie papa nyame wo hira yen yie we also say beautiful Samuel Asenso ascend a message or say beautiful Efe State of the Nations address Ghana ye kwa wo amanyosemu a yewi a yenyina na yakabom na yaye amano ayefe we sini din e de chema so se kwaku opare happy new year menso medase bebre was nice to hear from Oparidero medase bebre nyame ensure say wonso was send ye message ye dase bebre say wabeka ye ho na o send ye message why na send ye message we see din at the Felix upon or say power asem na o kana sabre ye kan messages nyina no ye twen so mampani ebeba na oba bedru na we see din official Michael or say God bless you Oparidero medase nyame Israel ye dase bebre say mo joining in live ewo ahanomom State of the Nations address the Etrato ena yede every we say God bless Nanado and Dr. Baumia your legacy lives on and generations will remember your names. Anio Omampeni Akufo-Addo ene ne Dr. Baumia ahokyere aba enema nkoyie nanso sede etibia no yede nyame ase kakra bi otumi be ye bia no obi nso beba betoa so na yetimi akoye ni Mohammed Sani was say Ghana is the key of democracy in Africa. Pray for other African countries. I said I pray other African countries should learn from Ghana. Ane yenyina yempaibo enono say other African countries and so ebisua because enema way Ghana eya yeteki nema for granted but a very beautiful say Ghana ubehu omampani State of the Nations address na ubehu John Dramani Mahama former president no so eti honomo na wotie bi efe ema Ghana ye democracy no eyefe yekoto abawie kakra twitwi bi bekoso nanso ne nyina mu no ye nyina no ye betumi akan ho abom ewo anije kwan so we say ne din de Abrantepa Kwaku Frimpong was a beautiful culture can't be bought. What a nation. We are blessed indeed. Yedasi bebre Abrantepa Kwaku Frimpong. Thank you very much for your message. Ye train omampani Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo ni fie eko state house no no enwapi ufri Nima Junction honomo na wo ba befa state house no kwa enwa eno nti wonya signal na menim say the next 2 minutes bia no wo bedu eno nti me sure say eno ena wo train Abrantepa send the message we ye no ena Esther Amenfo say I will miss this fellow Ghanaians. Hey, why so ni ye madam for you honorable Ishia so mra shebjeni nyame enhira no share so mra shebjeni no wono ena oba bedu no ye madam for bakoso ni kura camera ebutu ho ni ye mafe Ghana mafe mabusuafo honorable Ishia so emra she bejeni ye friend of sticker guy name yede ma no sticker Stephen Amoa ena oba bedu a yede camera ato ne so no enche bia no omampani Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo ebedu a yebe camera na free sticker so sticker de yenyina yenim no uja no obesun sisi a enti wono nso ne de eno no we si ne den de Noel was say not to be political but the fact that merge president-elect never missed the incumbent nation's address is highly commendable. Yes, eno de omampani John Dramani Mahama we are the emre bi a State of the Nations address ebesi bi a wo Ghana bia no afi bia no okọ President Kofo nso samobeka President Kofo so yesam edema President Mills any President John Dramani Mahama afibia no na oko efe keke yekon na yenyina yaka bom efe we si ni dindi Emmanuel Eshen message was say peace be still, peace be still, peace e be still yampa, peace e be still yampa na enoa ena yehia ewo Ghana we si den mantwa samina was say good to see this display of our culture, beautiful culture. I am Mancha, currently watching live from United States of America. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Yenso yedasi bebre. I menso mewo Canada. And I'm a broadcaster Eddie Free ahanomo. Baby I'm away abo anaju no mienu 2:15 a.m. British Columbia, Canada. And I also US in Timim says Sabre was sorry anajo and I yen nyame enka wo home ye live Radio Ghana C ya Canada and I live and so Paridero channel so waiting the Bernard Apia was a God bless our homeland Ghana Bernard Apia ye da sibebre for your message say obeka ye hona o sending this wonderful message ye train say omampani Akufo-Addo obeba bedu na ne nyina mu no yede messages no enso ebrel mo messages a mode abreye na yede nwom kakra enso toase ede amon we say ne din ede akenten wiafe ena yehu ne message ewo ahanomo no was say God bless our homeland Ghana akenten wiafe nyame enhyira no omampani na Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo wonya emedui enu nti no de yebe sesei ene se mamehwe obi de ne message aba ansa na makoyi sa video no de atro nana o say tutu was say long live Ghana nana o say tutu. Thank you very much for joining us live here. And a Benedicta a free and so say I mean our president Mate Medase. Thanks for the correction. Benedicta say ode correction ede abreye ebusuya yebesan akaikai yen ho bio na yakwa akohwe omampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo last State of the Nations address ya oye no ubehu say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ekoe ma eyefeyi pa enu nti mamehwe se mehu sa pictures no ede abrewa ye twense omampani bedu ya pe yebekati bibia na yede ato ho no mo na afi yehu wo machi de awramu asojafo ejije na baba ene de keke ka ho no nyina no yebema mohu ne nyina eno nti koso na ene ye entina wobra ye di sa adwuma no ewo ahanomo na yehwe se omampani na Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo wobeba na waba bedu na fe yehu se de eniema eko se ensemtwofo nso eye interviews ene ade mahu se sticker ensemtwofo ene no etwetwe enkomo enti echire yensa eka feed no a yede betum na nso se sie yi de menim se jazz na mede ato ase no eye de pa jazz no eye de enu nti koso na wonso tie jazz no bi tete Ghana nyom ena gospel music a yede ato ase kama enu nti tie bi Ebusuya yenya signal no say omampani na Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo nam kwan so eba eno very soon no yebehu say okay motos no na eba no His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo Parliament Mrashebijafo nso atena sededa waye seated eno Parliament atena sededa na mempese mede obekọ dan no mu ansa yeni kan enhwe de ekoso ewo abonten no wahu say ye Akufo-Addo moto no ne edidi nanim no de atwato wo enjoy ni enunti wonyere ne ho pa na won enjoy the chatso last message of the State of the Nations address the friend sona no omampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ne de ya etwato kra ya wode benie enunti yebeye na sabre ya mutumienu no ababesen kono de na bibie di adanse se omampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo akaka krabi na fe waduru hono oduru pepepe a na yemamu ahu se de eniema esi eko aha aponko no emze ne nso aponko na ba aponko no ba enti mimie biade no kese yi na fe yehu se de eniema besi ako. This is beautiful. Omampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo President, Fourth Republic imu President yenya omampani Rollins, yenya omampani Kufuor, yenya omampani Atta Mills, yenya omampani Mahama, enunti fifth President of the Fourth Republic. Ye de me fekra no no aponko no a edikan a na wonomo ede omampani eba no eno ena ya me fe pa enti yenko na yenko hwese de eno nso esi eko omampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo waba aba bedu enti State of the Nations address ena yede brewo no omampani abedu no yenhwe de ebesisi ewo ahanomo yemamo akwa baba opaidero eso Radio Ghana CA live ewo Canada Ghana for Addo Gaga ohu omampani Akufo-Addo nante efe pa enti
Bansu one ne yere ne hokani beautiful Rebecca and Ebai. He's going to inspect the parade.
Ebusuya said yedi kan ma munya ne ntie no omampani aba bedu sesi yabo national anthem no awie eno ntie wobeko na ko inspect parade no yedi kan ma munya ne ntie se enne State of the Nation address sa parade we no omampani na yi navy for ena ebae ɛbɛyɛ guard of honor no ɛde maa no yɛbɔ national anthem na wie ɛno nti ɔmampanin Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo bɛnante na afei wakɔ dan no mu kamakama paa na afei wakɔhwɛ asogyafoɔ no wɔhwɛ sogyafoɔ no wie pɛpɛɛpɛ a yɛbɛswɛhye afiri abɔnten parliament atena ase wabɔ mpaeɛ awie deda ɛno nti parliament akɔ live deda nti ɛfiri hɔnom no yɛde bɛtom live ɛwɔ parliament na afei yɛahwɛ deɛ ɛrekɔ so nso ɛwɔ parliament ɔmampanin ɛna ɛrekɔ inspection no yɛnhwɛ sɛdeɛ ɛhɔnom nso asogyafoɔ ɛnwom a yɛrebɔ ɛde ama no
Ghana Mampani, Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. And wako inspect a parade no area.
Yeah, Omampani inspect parade no area. Wa inspect parade no awie eno nti very soon no behu say Omampani beko back na asogyafoɔ no aba abegye permission say de ya wɔn mo etaye no no na afei wa disperse navy asogyafoɔ no na afei amakwan ama Omampani atumi ewura edan no mu na afei ni state of the nation's address yakwa akɔhwɛ say de enema besi akɔ ebusua yema akwaba ede oba Oparedero channel ne Radio Ghana CA so Parliament ena ene day action no nyina ewo enti yɛhwɛ deɛ ɛrekɔ so ɛwɔ hɔnom ene day ɔmampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo State of the Nation ena wɔde ɛbrɛ yɛn ɛno nti yɛbɛkɔ na yɛakɔ akɔfa ɛhɔnom dwumadie no ɛno nti sɛsi yi no mobɛma yɛn sima baako na afei yɛasɔhye na yɛakɔ back to Parliament na yɛakɔ akɔhwɛ deɛ ɛrekɔ so ɛwɔ parliament na yehu deɛ ɛkɔ so abusua afei ɛna wajoin yɛni a yɛde live broadcast ɛde ɛbrɛw ɛde free Parliament of Ghana State House ɛnam sɛ ɛnɛ day ɔmampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ɛde State of the Nation's address ɛde ɛbrɛ wɔmanfoɔ ama Ghanafoɔ nyinaa hu sɛm ɛne tibia yɛ a Ghana yɛwɔ mu ɔmampani abɛduru parliament ɛno nti yɛhwɛ sɛ yɛbɛkɔ na yɛakɔ akɔfa deɛ ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ parliament live ɛno nti sɛ yɛ adwumadie no aba abɔnten deɛ no aba wieɛ no deɛ na kyerɛ sɛ yɛkɔ na yɛkɔ akɔfa sɛdeɛ parliament deɛ no ɛteɛ na yɛhu sɛdeɛ nneɛma ɛteɛ ɛwɔ hɔ no mu ɛno nti abusua ka yɛn ho na afei yɛnkɔ parliament na yɛnkɔhwɛ sɛdeɛ ɛhɔ nom nso nneɛma no ɛrekɔ so ɛwɔ parliament ɛsiane sɛ ɛnɛ ɛyɛ anigye da ɛwɔ ɔman yi parliament hɔ nom okay sɛ parliament atena ase deda enti yɛbɛkɔ na yɛakɔ akɔhwɛ deɛ ɛrekɔ so ɛwɔ parliament na yɛakɔfa ɛhɔ nom dwumadie no nyinaa nso live mahu ɔmampanin Kufuor watena ase deda ɔmampanin Kufuor atena ase ɛna mpanimfoɔ ahodoɔ yi a ɛka ne ho ɛnkyɛ biara yɛde wo ɛtum ɛwɔ parliament na wahu deɛ ɛrekɔ so ɛwɔ ɛhɔ nom ɛnso former first lady ɔmampanin Rawlings na yere ɛnso ɛwɔ ha nom a wɔno nso yɛhu no ɛwɔ ha enti yɛnkɔ na yɛnkɔ tie deɛ ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ parliament ɛhɔ nom nso Omampani Ewramu the Intia Casabia and my NSS Abre Omampani Eco Speaker Officer one more Eco Sinsign and Enchebiano announcement beba na speaker Amachi Omampani Aba Parliament no inside and unti Edu Honomoa Mobihu and unti ena Honomo aye quiet ye Honorable Henry Cote ena ete CA you know Utimus Honorable Henry Cote well losing his seat. Losing his seat, Honorable Henry Cote, NFA, former running mate, 2024 election, Matthew Poku Prempe, and so, Ena Etihonomo, Madame for some say, Hinson Etihonomo, Ena incoming a Greek minister, Eriko Poku. The yetiti no way a hinta yenya say ora Eriko Poku, ebitimi aye incoming a Greek minister, information. Information yetiti no nti say so mampani akodru no wobeko speaker of parliament ne office na fe wonu mu akodi nkomo say hwe Owura Haruna Idrisu ene honorable say chairman Sabonsu umienu aka wonti apam ho hwe umienu nyina woti abonten a na wusu na nso Owura Haruna Idrisu one honorable say chairman Sabonsu ene plan said the enema besi akọ Dr. Zenato Rollins enso ena ejina hono no one ne colleagues kakakra nkafi na so ya yehye na nso nyame adi no ho afofi Dr. Zenato Rollins enkrofo kire se wo future obetumi a contest as president wonim se sabre omampani John Dramani Mahama owie ni 4-year term we ya yatete sa asofo no bi prophesy se obeko 8 years yenim eno. Hey, another pray. That's so NDC mu the fight for replacement Edema John Dramani Mahama no ashasia enesa na entity ya yeti ewo NDC mu no eputu Dr. Zenato Rollins and so much more ahead pass enkomo kofom se yese ono so ewo charisma te se ne papa JJ Rollins ya enunti no wono nso nkrofo edidi nkomo se obetumi edi mampani no ebi eno no ye feed no edi free parliament em say a freezy but em say kwambia so ebeba ye feed free parliament ebeba a freezy kakra nanso Parliament of Ghana mpe internet papa na de no ntimi nyina so ye ebusuya ye the live broadcast at the Free State House Parliament of Ghana ena ye de ebrewo we a live streaming of State of the Nation's address so mampani na Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo State of the Nation's address etwato ena wode akọ parliament wakwa kodu the CID on a vice president, any dignitaries, no be speaker of parliament, and Owura Fenyo Markin, any leadership no, enyina be kwa kushia no nyina amachi ede apem, eno ena ye twen as see ya de na freezy in free her every parliament baby a ye fa de no ede free eno nti abusia mobenya ye ho abotre ye the live broadcast nyina ebebro ye beti omampani ni speech no na fe ya hwese de enema ebesi akọ yema mwakwaba se mwabe joining live na yede dwumade ede free Parliament of Ghana ede ebrewo yede live broadcast no ebrewo there be mse ade na entimi nyina so yebom paye se ebesan aba back na yehu se de enema besi akọ se the ekoso ewo parliament de no parliament feed no ati enti yebehwe se yebetumi a refresh na yensa aka no back na fe yemamu hu the ekoso emse aba enti yebeko back na yakwa akohwe se yensa betumi aka parliament feed no back emse aba back himfo enso ena aba fe ya himfo nso etitia Ghana ye wazoye ya mamre no efe nananom aposifo empanifo enso ɛna ɛtete hɔ nom ne sojafoɔ mpanimfoɔ chief fire officer ɛnso ɛna ɛgyina hɔ no ɔno nso wɔwɔ hɔ nom ebi chief fire officer ɛna ɔwɔ hɔ ɛnom no ɛna former members of parliament bi a wɔn nso aba nso ɛwɔ public gallery nom mehu director of research ɔhyɛ blue suit de ne nsa akɔ n'anim owura Dr. Isaac Owusu Mensa director of research ɛwɔ office of the president ɛna yehu no sɛsi yɛ yi a mmarahyɛbadwafoɔ no sɔre no wobɛhu sɛ speaker ɛde ɔmampani ɛba mu a MC Chief Justice krade watena se deda wabɛtena na konwam Chief Justice deɛ ɔne mpanimfoɔ no ɛni hwɛyɛ wabɛtena na konwam ɛdeda gentle giants were losing the seats. Gentle giants are losing the seats. All out of parliament. Battles. And so, Ura Kwamna Battles. Ne Baba, you are no Sukudi, Mashib Jenny, one at one so lusu. As Lusu, so net honomono, honorable as Lusu, so ne seat a free in sa. Yeah. MC was soon we to say, hey, Canada Japan, ni Haruna. Womi no nso yɛ namfo paa ɛna Canada Japan ɛne honorable Mama Ayarega ɛnso ɛna ɛgyina hɔ nom no honorable Kennedy Akompreko Japan nkurɔfoɔ mmienu nyinaa no obiara pɛmampani adi honorable Haruna Idrisu saa berɛ yi a wɔn sɛ first lady ɛne second lady aba inside no deɛ na kyerɛ sɛ pictures twitwa yi a ɛkɔ so ne book sign ne chief of staff ɛnso ɛte wɔn nkyɛn no deɛ na kyerɛ sɛ ɛnkyɛ biara no ɔmampani ɛne ɔmampani bi de kyerɛ bɛba wobɛhu sɛ clerk of parliament ɛbɛdi nkan ɛna parliament marshal no nso ɛbɛba na okura mace parliamentary mace no ɛyɛ gold ɛnko gold ankasa sɛ wodi w'ani hu ahu sɛ ɛfɛ yie parliamentary mace no na ekura marshal no na wɔde ɛba inside nti sɛsɛ deɛ mmarahyɛbadwafoɔ bɛtumi adidi wɔ ho nkɔmmɔ na wonya te order no a mmarahyɛbadwafoɔ ɛbɛtena ase na afei dwumadie no ahyɛ aseɛ obiara ɛpɛ fellow Ghanaians ɔmampani Akufo-Addo ne speech a ɛtwa toɔ atie ɛno nti asɛm bɛn na ɔmampani Akufo-Addo wɔde ɛbɛto dwa ɛno ɛna sɛsɛ yɛn nyinaa yɛpɛ na yɛtie. Wow, this is beautiful. First lady, second lady. Memfa outgoing ka ho, outgoing first lady, outgoing second lady, ɛna chief of staff ɛna wɔn mo ɛte hɔ nom no. Nyame adom a ɛne na ɔtwe saa bere na wɔyɛ former. ɛne na ɔtwe saa bere na wɔyɛ former. Mo sɛ mmarahyɛbadwafoɔ ahyɛ ase ɛtenatena ase ne deɛ na kyerɛ sɛ ɛberɛ bi adu ɛnkyɛ biara na dwumadie no wɔde bɛhyehyɛ so na afei yɛtie ɔmampani na Adwo Asafo wɔntena ase fan yi kura no ɛna wahu ne ho ahu wahu mace no baabi a mace ne si no yɛ mmarahyɛbadwani na aduru hɔ nom a wontumi ntwam saa sɛ wogyina na wobɔ mu ase ansa na wakorɔ so to the other side no akonnwa no nso ɛna si hɔ nom no ɛno ɛna ɛde wɔto tena so a na afei woyɛ Ghana mampani akonnwa no kama ye de twa toɔ yɛ mmarahyɛbadwafoɔ ɛbɛhyiahyia wɔn ho anie after ɛnɛ no na aka the dissolution of parliament ye dissolve parliament after ɛnɛ no na wɔne ɛlusu no nyinaa no waban abɛwieyɛ na afei wɔbɛ starte the ninth parliament na kyerɛ sɛ ninth parliament ɛna wɔbɛ starteɛ no mame deɛ menim no ɔte first lady nkyɛn pɛɛ menim no kamɛka ne ho asɛm ɛde akyerɛw Honorable Kennedy Akompreko Japan ɔne Honorable Do Hega ana ya NDC Kennedy Akompreko Japan ɛyɛ den wɔ NDC for no hɔ ye unuanom wɔ ha ko unuanom hɔ yi Honorable Kennedy Akompreko Japan ɛno no wɔwɔ minority wɔ sɛsi ayi deɛ minority for no hɔ ɛne wɔn ɛtwetwe nkɔmmɔ ne namfofo bebree unso ne Sam George be kontokwa bebree no so Sam George namfo pa MC feed no eba enti very soon no yebeko na yakwa kofa the air so unim Sam George adamfo pa any honorable Kennedy Japan unso Sam George ne esle unso kontokwa ntokwa kwa we namfo pa. This is beautiful. Ghana's Parliament. Chief of Staff, your friend is saying, Chief Justice, One Sankofu anyway, and Speaker of Parliament, any President and Vice, Bequet, Chihon Wako Sense, Book Akoshia, I'm watching one said in Age Medina Abekos answer. Chief Justice M. Kohobi, if it did Ghana, Chief Justice. Enjoy ni omo okoya na wakotena se ohe Chief Justice in seni fa so ho no mo a obe say Supreme Court judges no enso akotena se deda wono mo eti ho no mo Supreme Court judges no akotena se deda wono mo eti ho no mo a wo twen atumpan fonton from no so ena esisi ho no mo no eno nti enche bia yebebo mu tise ebom gbogbogbogbogba na che se omampani na nado dan kwakufu ado wone ne dom ena ewramu no na ene fellow Ghanaians asemo omampani beka ne bia no ye record ya to ho no mo isanse next month ye February John Dramani Mahama wo betina akonya so ya ye de handing over notes na ma no wono nso beba be ka kire Ghana fo said the MPP for eja amamu no de amano de ene omampani akufo ado yin eye said the ono waja amamu no ede ato ho no mo next month the year John Dramani Mahama beye no ebeye wono nso de ohuye enti yede ni nyina ebetoto ho ye ndisi fu munya Kennedy Japan no nkoni nuanom ho munya Kennedy Japan no nkoni nuanom ho na ye Kennedy Japan wasom se asen South Emirates Beni ache eni chi no mo kodi asen Central watena penifo eba Marshall ena edin kan no ena fe Clark for no etoatoa so right honorable Speaker of Parliament and so eka ho ya woba enti enche bia order bekoso na mrashibja phone nyina atena se na fe ehu sedie bibia ebeko hwenefe Ghana efe enti mamehwe se metimi de feed na tumu a Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahmudu Bawumia Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahmudu Bawumia enso no ena ya dress mayo kama bibia Ghana eda ya mamre edi efe Vice President ni ADC haso bodyguards for emu nyae no ade ho na ekoyi obi bibi nyae no eno mampani nso enie omampani the bodyguards need in chain the all left no or your hine to find you obi bisa so your hine ewe alajo hine ena ye omampani Akufo Addo ne bodyguard alajo manche alajo hine ote akonwa so ankasa no wono ena no hye blue edi omampani Akufo Addo ne right no omampani Akufo Addo bodyguard no oye alajo hine alajo manche eno no say die me defeat no ebetum yebekọ akotie speech ni nyina memmamu bio kopim se omampani Akufo Addo ne speech no beba wieye esi pepe pa na ye de dwumade ni nyina abawieye medam wase se mo ka me ho enti yenko
Honorable members, on your behalf, I want to warmly welcome His Excellency Nana Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces to the House. Before I invite him to perform a very important constitutional duty, kindly allow me to acknowledge the presence of the following people. His Excellency, the President, is ably supported in the performance of this duty by His Excellency the Vice President, His Excellency Mahmoudou Bawumia, we also have the presence of Her Lordship, the Chief Justice, Justice Gertrude Tukonu, and for sure, we have the presence of the spouse of His Excellency the President, Her Excellency Rebecca Akufo-Addo. And His Excellency the Vice President is with his better half, the spouse, Her Excellency Samira Bawumia. And I have with me my wife, the Left Honorable Madam Alice Ajua Yunus. Her Excellency, our Ladyship, the Chief Justice, is accompanied by her spouse, Mr. Francis Tokunu. We also have with us the Chief of Staff, Honorable Akusia Frema Osei Opare. we could not be joined by the chairperson of the Council of State, but he is ably represented by our own veteran politician, lawyer, the person of Mr. Sam Okudzato, Senior Advocate of Ghana. We have with us the evergreen former president, His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor. It's very important on your behalf. I thank him for always being with us here in this house. He is always present anytime we have an important function in Parliament. And we are extremely grateful to you, Your Excellency. We also have another very important partner of us. She is always also ever present anytime we have an activity here. I'm referring to Her Excellency, the former First Lady, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. And we have with us here almost all members of the diplomatic corps that are here with us, and definitely you can see them at the important visitors public gallery. The heads of the various security services are all here with us, and we have a number of chiefs and queen mothers present in this house. We are blessed with the presence of our religious leaders who actually keep us healthy by always praying for us and making sure that the blessings and favor of the Almighty God remains with us forever and ever. With this, I'll now proceed to invite His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, to deliver his message on the state of the nation. Your Excellency, you may do so now. Honorable members, please. This is a very important occasion, and you are in the house we refer to as August House, House of Honor and Dignity. We expect nothing apart from honorable behavior from you, and please, let's listen to His Excellency in absolute silence. I thank all of you for your compliance.
Mr. Speaker, as my constitutionally mandated period as President of our country nears its very end, I come before this august House to perform my last official public duty. I'm grateful for the opportunity to give an accounting of my time in office, spell out the highlights of the state of our nation, and place on record the Ghana I'm handing over to my successor. In accordance with protocol and convention, it is good to see that my wife, First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo, Vice President Mahamadou Bawumia, Second Lady Samira Bawumia, the spouse of Mr. Speaker, Mrs. Alice Adjoa Jonas Bagbin, Chief Justice Gertrude Tokunu and spouse, and justices of the Supreme Court, the representative of the chairperson, Mr. Sam Okujeto, and members of the Council of State, Chief of Staff at the Office of the President, the Honorable Akosua Fremont Oseo Parry, and officials of the Presidency, Secretary to the Cabinet, Ambassador Mercy Deborah Karakari, Chief of Defense Staff of the Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Thomas Opong Pipra, the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufu Dampare, and the various service chiefs are all present. The Speaker, the House is also duly honored by the welcome attendance of the former President of the Republic, John Agyekum Kufuor, former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings, and the Dean and members of the Diplomatic Corps. Mr. Speaker, before I commence my message on the state of the nation, I want to put on record that I am deeply saddened by the devastating fire at Kantomanto Market, which took place yesterday, and has left many traders and their livelihoods in ruins. My thoughts and prayers are with those affected, and I extend heartfelt sympathies to the hardworking traders who have lost their goods and investments. Government stands with you and will work with relevant agencies to ascertain the causes of the fire and to provide the needed support. As a nation that is unite in compassion and solidarity to help those who have suffered losses, together we can extend a helping hand to our fellow Ghanaians in need during this challenging time. Mr. Speaker, it is important to state at the outset that serving the Ghanaian people as president has been the greatest honor of my life. It has been one of great challenges and even greater triumphs, one that has demanded every ounce of my energy, commitment, and love for our beloved country. My vision has always been to see a Ghana that is self-reliant, prosperous, and united, a beacon of hope, democracy, and opportunity in Africa and beyond. That vision remains undimmed, and I'm confident that the strides we have made together will propel Ghana to even greater heights. Mr. Speaker, the first responsibility of a government is the safety and security of the state and its people. I'm happy to report that our country's territorial integrity is intact and all our borders are secure. In a neighborhood of widespread instability, it is no longer an assumption that we can make that our land will be safe and secure. Ghana, by the grace of God, remains the only country in the neighborhood that has not fallen victim to terrorist violence. It has taken a lot of concerted effort, and dare I say a lot of money, to enable us to protect our country from the ravages of the variety of terrorist groups operating and destabilizing other countries in the neighborhood. I wish to pay great homage to the security services and their ministerial leaders for the work they do every day to keep us safe. Mr. Speaker, it gives me no great pleasure to state that an important and integral part of the fabric of our society and the hallmark of our traditions, chieftaincy, continues to be a source of insecurity and destabilization. Upon coming into office, we worked hard with considerable assistance from the Committee of Eminent Chiefs, Otumfuo Asantehene, the Nairi, and the Yabonwura, to bring finally a resolution to the conflict which had blighted the ancient kingdom of Gabon for many, many years. Bringing peace to Gabon remains one of the high watermarks of my time in office, and I had been so looking forward to counting it with pride as the top of the list in resolving chieftaincy disputes and conflicts. Unfortunately, the sad situation in Boko must necessarily dampen any enthusiasm about the resolution of chieftaincy problems elsewhere. It is a matter of great regret and distress to me personally that in spite of our best efforts, the Boko conflict remains unresolved. Boko is unhappily not the only area of chieftaincy conflict. In judging from the experience of other parts of the country, I will have to mark chieftaincy as a growing source of insecurity that will continue to require a lot of attention. It is clear that part of that process is the need to strengthen the capacities of the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs and the Peace Council, the two frontline institutions responsible for dealing with chieftaincy and other disputes. Mr. Speaker, in my inaugural speech at my swearing in my first term on 7th January 2017, and early on in that term, I made a public commitment to tackle galamsey, the phenomenon that had been ravaging our environment and destroying our lands and water bodies in the pursuit of mining our gold. I knew and was very much aware that fighting galamsey was not a universally popular position for a president to take. But I felt strongly enough about the need to protect our environment to say I was prepared to put my presidency on the line in the defense of our lands and water bodies. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, the fight against galamsey led directly to the loss by my party of several parliamentary seats in the 2020 elections, and to the makeup of this 8th Parliament, which affected the implementation of my policy agenda and impacted the second term of my presidency. I welcome the many loud converts to the fight against galamsey that suddenly appeared in the run-up to the 2024 elections. And I pray that more and more of us get to embrace the need for the protection of our lands and water bodies. As I have stated on numerous occasions, the fight against galamsey is not a fight against mining or the extraction of the gold the Almighty has so generously endowed us with. But we owe it to future generations of Ghanaians to extract our minerals in a manner that protects our lands and water bodies. I'm happy to be able to say that we have implemented some of the boldest and most progressive policies in the mining, forestry, and land sectors. As a result of these policies, we overtook South Africa as the leading producer of gold on the continent and have consistently increased gold production to reach an unprecedented 4 million ounces last year. Not only have we revamped dormant mines like the Obuasi and Bibiani mines, we have also worked to deliver the Cardinal Namdi mine, the first large-scale mine in northern Ghana, and the first greenfield gold mines in our country in more than a decade, with the ongoing construction of new mines in Ahafo by Newmont and Upper West by Azuma Resources. To add value to these volumes of minerals, we have constructed, through a public-private partnership, a 400-kilogram capacity gold refinery here in our country. We've also concluded discussions with the parent company of Ghana Manganese Company Limited for the construction of a $450 million United States dollars manganese refinery at Nsuta. Moreover, the establishment of the Ghana Integrated Aluminum Development Corporation and the Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation has laid the groundwork for the industrialization of many of our natural resources. These entities are expected to generate significant revenue, create jobs, and enhance the value addition of our natural wealth. Each of these initiatives was guided by the vision to harness Ghana's wealth for the benefit of her people, ensuring a legacy of sustainable development for future generations. We continue to work to increase the forest estate of our country. Under the Ghana Forest Plantation Strategy, some 121,000 hectares of degraded forests were cultivated between 2017 and 2023. And under the Green Ghana Project, over 52 million trees have been planted in just 4 years of its implementation. In 2023, Ghana became the second country in Africa and the third in the world to receive results-based payments from the World Bank Carbon Fund for reducing emissions. Under the Ghana Cocoa Red Plus program, we have also completed all the necessary steps under the voluntary partnership agreement with the European Union. And effective June this year, Ghana will become the first African country and the second globally to issue forest law enforcement, government, and trade licenses. Mr. Speaker, if arguments still rage over what there is to show for the fight against galamsey and the effects of irresponsible mining, there can be no such arguments about the introduction of the free SHS and free TVET programs. Another policy that did not have universal approval when I sought to introduce it on coming into office. However, I believe this is one of the rare occasions on which we can use the word transformational without any danger of abusing the word. We have transformed education, and there can never be a reversal, of the fact that some 5.7 million young people have gained access to secondary education who would otherwise not have had the opportunity, but for free SHS and free TVET. Indeed, my administration has also prioritized technical and vocational education and training, TVET, establishing 34 new TVET institutions and upgrading 62 existing ones to equip our youth with 21st century skills. Mr. Speaker, I'm proud that we were brave enough to have started the free SHS policy at the beginning of my first term and resisted the calls for a gradual introduction. I'm glad that we've removed from the Ghanaian mindset the belief that secondary school education is only for people from certain households and families. From 2020, when the first cohort of free senior high school candidates sat for the WACC, Ghana has consistently recorded over 50% of candidates scoring A1 to C6 in all 4 core subjects. This marks a stark improvement compared to the years prior, particularly the period when pass rates in core subjects were largely below 50%. This year's results, the 2024 results, have maintained the laudable trend from 2020. Indeed, only 51.6% of candidates achieved A1 to C6 in English in 2016, compared to a much higher 69.52% in 2024. For integrated science, the pass rate improved from 48.35% in 2016 to 58.77% in 2024. Mathematics demonstrated the most dramatic progress, rising from a mere 33.12% pass rate in 2016 to an impressive 66.86% in 2024. Social studies followed a similar trend, improving from 54.55% in 2016 to 71.53% in 2024. Moreover, the 2023 WACC results stand out as the best in the history of the examination. No amount of shouts will displace data. It will not happen. The data is there. As the best in the history of the examination, with record-breaking performances across all core subjects. It is obvious then that our reforms have not only expanded access, but have also enhanced the quality of education. I am glad that we have elevated TVET and STEM to where they properly belong, and that they will no longer be seen as the option for those who cannot make the top grade. We have embarked on the development of 20 STEM centers and 10 model STEM senior high schools across the nation, and also constructed 186 new science laboratories nationwide. The other day, I commissioned the Accra STEM Academy, which is destined to play a key role in the future of STEM education in our country. These institutions are designed to provide hands-on learning experiences with cutting-edge facilities. From coding to robotics, our students are being prepared for the demands of the 21st century. It has not been without challenges, but the results are evident. I'm delighted with the infrastructure transformation that has taken place on our school and university campuses. This was displayed in a dramatic fashion a few weeks ago when the Ministry of Education staged the simultaneous commissioning of 80 new educational facilities across the nation. I do not suggest that we have finished what we set out to do, but we have certainly established what a kindergarten is supposed to be like. We've established what a primary school should be like. We've set standards for what constitutes a JHS. Science laboratories are now integral parts of junior and senior high schools, and computer tablets are available for all school children. Mr. Speaker, now we know and accept that a public school building can be painted in beautiful and attractive colors. Mr. Speaker, we have aimed to make the learning and teaching atmosphere a happy one for all school children and their teachers. We spend a lot of resources on education in the past 8 years, and I'm persuaded that it is money well spent, and the long-lasting benefits for our society will provide the justification for the expenditure. Mr. Speaker, it is impossible to make any meaningful accounting of my time in office without reference to the COVID pandemic. With the passage of time, it is easy to play down the extent of the catastrophe that brought our world to a thundering halt and brought wild animals to lounge on highways. Do we remember that airports around the world were closed, and some 2 years after the formal end of the pandemic, worldwide shipping and cargo freight have not returned to normal? Schools were closed around the world, and it took courage to reopen our schools. And there are parts of the world that have not yet made up for the closure of schools necessitated by the pandemic. Probably, Mr. Speaker, the most poignant aspect of those times was not the fear that gripped us all, but the fact that we were unable to hold hands or hug each other, and we could not have funerals for our dead. It is worth emphasizing the point that with the help of the Ghanaian people and the guidance of the Almighty, we managed the pandemic in our country to the admiration of the whole world. Indeed, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Ghana emerged as a leader in Africa, managing the crisis with a balanced approach that prioritized lives and livelihoods. We were among the first countries on the continent to secure vaccines and roll out a comprehensive vaccination program. The establishment of our own vaccine manufacturing facility under the supervision of the National Vaccine Institute, a body created by Act of Parliament in collaboration with international partners, is a testament to our resolve to build resilience in our healthcare system. In the spirit of transparency and accountability, a parliamentary audit was conducted on the accounts relating to COVID-19 expenditures, reflecting my government's attachment to accountability and the effective stewardship of public resources during a time of crisis. However, the consequences of the COVID-19 upheavals on all aspects of our lives have gone way beyond what anyone could have imagined, and we're still dealing with the effects on the economy. But let me first deal briefly with the effects on the health sector. This pandemic showed up some of the alarming shortcomings of our health delivery system, and we have strived to seek remedies to ensure that we're reasonably prepared to meet the next emergencies. The most important intervention is the Agenda 111 project we have embarked upon that aims to place a hospital in every district. Out of the 101 district hospitals and 2 psychiatric hospitals on the project list, there are 99 district and 2 psychiatric hospitals where contractors are deployed and work is in progress. I'd hoped that construction would be completed on all of them, but that, alas, was not to be. I'm pleased to report that on December 5th, I had the utmost pleasure to commission 3 of the district hospitals. Progress of works on the other 98 active sites range from 5% for sites whose work commenced recently to 95% at other sites. I'm hoping that the incoming Mahama administration will ensure that the project is completed to put our health infrastructure on a sound footing. Furthermore, we launched the National Ambulance Services Revitalization Program, increasing the number of ambulances from 55 barely functioning ambulances to over 300, ensuring timely emergency response and saving countless lives. The strides in healthcare reflect our collective commitment to build a system that prioritizes the dignity, health, and well-being of every Ghanaian. Furthermore, we've revived the National Health Insurance Scheme, which at one point before I came into office appeared to be reverting to the days of cash and carry. The number of subscribers has risen from 10.6 million in 2016 to 17.9 million at the end of 2023. With the renewal of subscriptions being facilitated by a tap on the mobile phone, and the scope of the scheme being broadened to include treatment for sickle cell disease, kidney dialysis, and childhood cancers. Mr. Speaker, our economy took a bigger hit from the COVID-19 pandemic and ensuing consequences than had been anticipated. And in 2021 and 2022, we were in unaccustomed trouble. Our economy, which in my first term had been widely acknowledged to have performed creditably, marked by the longest period of single-digit inflation, 7% average GDP real growth rate, and strong external balances, was on its knees. The government's difficulties in parliament, with the slimmest of majorities, gave the impetus to the international rating agencies to trash us on their assumption that we would struggle to get financial policy measures passed through the legislature. We faced the problems we encountered with equanimity, took a deep breath, and decided to apply for an IMF-supported program, dubbed Post-COVID-19 Program for Economic Growth, PCPEG, in the middle of 2023. The implementation of the program so far has gone well, even as it has been challenging. We have passed successfully through 3 successive reviews of program implementation by the IMF board, with the most recent review approved on 2nd December 2024, leading to the disbursement of $360 million United States dollars. The fund has therefore disbursed a cumulative $1.9 billion United States dollars to date. At the moment, I'm able to say with confidence that the crisis is over, that the economy has recovered strongly and faster than projected. In order for me to be able to make this assertion, I must make reference to the debt restructuring exercise. It affected many bondholders and was one of the most challenging decisions my administration had to undertake. It was not a choice made lightly, as we were acutely aware of the personal and financial hardships it would impose on individuals, families, and institutions across the country. Many citizens had invested their hard-earned savings, and we fully understood the pain and sacrifices this exercise demanded. However, it became evident that without such bold and decisive action, our economy would have faced an even greater crisis with far-reaching consequences for every Ghanaian. This restructuring was essential to address unsustainable debt levels and to create the fiscal space needed to stabilize the economy and lay the groundwork for future growth. It was critical in ensuring that Ghana could meet her financial obligations, regain the confidence of international and domestic investors, and restore our economic credibility. Through the resilience and understanding of the Ghanaian people, coupled with the strategic measures we implemented, we have been able to chart a path towards the recovery that is underway. Today, we're witnessing the positive outcomes of the painful but yet necessary exercise. The economy is rebounding strongly. Our fiscal position is more stable, and our debt sustainability has significantly improved. These developments have provided a solid foundation for sustained growth and development, ensuring that the sacrifices made by bondholders and other stakeholders will not be in vain, but rather the basis of Ghana's economic revival. Mr. Speaker, the country is not broke, as some propagandists want us to believe. We're handing over the country with gross international reserves of almost $8 billion United States dollars. This is more than the $6.2 billion United States dollars of gross international reserves my administration inherited in 2017. Economic growth. The noise will not shut out the statistics. And I intend to put the statistics on the record of Hansard, no matter the amount of noise. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, economic growth.
Honorable members, the level of interruption is high. Please, honorable members, His Excellency the President is not out of order. Please. Honorable members, your statistics might be different from his, but that doesn't mean he's misleading the House. He is in order. Please, Your Excellency, continue.
Mr. Speaker, the statistics cannot be different. There's only one set of statistics at the room. It cannot be different.
Your Excellency,
truth is indivisible. Truth is indivisible. Is one and one only.
Your Excellency,
thank you very much.
As an accomplished member of Parliament, you are out of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, economic growth has also returned to the pre-COVID trajectory with an impressive growth rate, rising from 4.8% in the first quarter of 2024, 7% in the second quarter, and 7.2% in the third quarter. It is projected that this year's growth rate will be 6.3%, significantly higher than the 3.4% my administration inherited in 2017. The growth of the economy is further reflected in the growth of private sector credit. Private sector credit in nominal terms grew by 28.87% in October 2024, compared to the negative 7.5% growth recorded in the same comparative period of 2023. In real terms, growth in credit to the private sector improved to 5.5% compared to a contraction of 31.6% recorded in October 2023. It is further reinforced by improved external balances, with the current account balancing improving significantly to a surplus of 2.6% of GDP in the first 9 months of the year, compared to a deficit of 6.6% of GDP in 2016. In much the same way, the trade balance has improved and stands at a surplus of 3.85 billion United States dollars, compared with a deficit of 1.8 billion United States dollars in 2016. Headline inflation, which stood at 23% in November, is still very high, but this is coming down from 54% recorded in December 2022, following the effects of COVID-19 and other global economic pressures. Encouragingly, food prices have also begun to decline, bringing some relief to households and contributing to a reduction in the overall cost of living. Government has implemented significant measures to address the hardships that accompanied the economic difficulties. These include increased budgetary allocations towards the school feeding program, the capitation grant, the National Health Insurance Scheme, and the Livelihood Empowered Against Poverty program, LEAP. The stock of public and publicly guaranteed debt increased during the economic difficulties. However, the government is servicing its debts, honoring coupon payments for both domestic bonds and Euro bonds. Moreover, the debt levels are reducing, recording a significant reduction in the debt stock by 46.8 billion Ghana cedis to 761.0 billion Ghana cedis in October 2024 from 807.9 billion Ghana cedis in September 2024. The public debt to GDP ratio, therefore, reduced from 79.2% in September 2024 to 74.6% in October 2024. This is expected to reduce further to 55% of GDP in net present value terms, a level that restores Ghana's debt sustainability. It is hoped that the new government will continue with the policies being implemented to achieve the debt sustainability target. I'm happy to inform the House that today, 3rd January 2025, my government will honor coupon payments to our Eurobond holders amounting to $346 million United States dollars. We cannot afford to default on our debt repayments. That's advice that I want to give to the incoming finance minister. These achievements demonstrate our firm commitment to the policies, structural reforms, and program objectives and targets under the program. Let me at this juncture state unequivocally that the banking sector cleanup undertaken by my administration was an act of necessity, not of vendetta. It was a bold and decisive intervention to safeguard the strength and integrity of Ghana's financial system. The illegalities and irregularities perpetuated by the affected banks and financial institutions are well documented and indisputable. These practices threaten the very foundation of our banking sector and jeopardize the hard-earned savings of millions of Ghanaians. Our actions ensure that not a single depositor lost their money, an unprecedented achievement in financial crisis management. Today, the results are there for all to see. A more robust, stable, and resilient banking sector capable of driving economic growth and supporting the aspirations of our people. It was a necessary decision to restore public confidence and secure the future of Ghana's financial sector. Mr. Speaker, my government recognized at the very outset that the fight against corruption required more than rhetoric. It demanded systemic, sustained, and strategic action. To this end, my government initiated a holistic program of legislative, administrative, financial, and technological reforms. Indeed, one of my most satisfactory moments as president was when we established the Office of the Special determination to tackle corruption head-on. I wanted Ghanaians to know that no one, no matter their rank or status, would be above the law. Its creation was initially met with considerable skepticism in some quarters, but I believe now that there is general consensus that has been an important contributor to our anti-corruption efforts. During my first term, we passed (2020) and elevated corruption from a misdemeanor to a felony, with harsher penalties of 12 to 25 years of imprisonment. We also enacted key laws such as the Fiscal Responsibility Act, the Revenue Administration Amendment Act, and the Anti-Money Laundering Act, all of which have strengthened our institutional framework to combat corruption and ensure accountability. We ensured that all allegations of corruption leveled against appointees were duly investigated by independent institutions of state, which generally dismiss them as unfounded. Budgetary support for accountability institutions has also witnessed unprecedented increases. For instance, from 2017 to 2023, SHRA's budget increased by 99%, Parliament's by 100%, the Office of the Attorney General by 162%, the Audit Service by 258%, and the police by 274%. These investments reflect my administration's commitment to empowering these institutions to discharge their mandates effectively, which means that the tools needed to exact accountability from all public office holders, including those of my own government, have been considerably sharpened. The application of these tools, whilst respecting as it should due process and the rule of law, however, should pose no problem, no fears for any honest public office holder. I remember the early days of these reforms when skepticism abounded. People asked, will this really make a difference? Today, the numbers speak for themselves. The Auditor General's report for 2023 showed a reduction of 5.2 billion cedis in financial irregularities, a 32% drop from the previous year. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. I've just explained to you. From the previous year, I just said so. Listen, open your ears and listen to me. Mr. Speaker, my government has undertaken impressive reforms to strengthen Ghana's judiciary, enhancing both capacity and accessibility. Key achievements include addressing court infrastructure challenges with the construction of 100 courthouses, 90 of which have been completed and are operational, making it the biggest single infrastructural intervention for the judiciary in our nation's history. The establishment of the Court of Appeal complex in Kumasi, along with 20 townhouses and a guest house for justices in the northern sector, now enables appeals from 11 regions to be handled locally, reducing delays in justice delivery. Additionally, the implementation of the e-justice system has digitized case management and streamlined processes, solidifying the judiciary's role as a bulwark of Ghana's democracy and development. Moreover, the Law House, a modern facility for the Office of the Attorney General, has now been completed. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable members, please. Let's have some order and let's continue with the business. Your Excellency, you may do so now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Apologize for that. Mr. Speaker, as I was saying, infrastructure development has been a cornerstone of this administration. The construction and rehabilitation of over 12,000 kilometers of roads have improved connectivity and reduced travel times. These projects have not only facilitated trade, but also enhanced access to essential services. It is fitting, therefore, to acknowledge that this administration has constructed more roads and interchanges than any other in our nation's history. In the Greater Accra region alone, we have completed the Pokwase Interchange, Tema Motorway Interchange Phase 1, Obechebi Lamte Interchange Phase 1, the East Legon Underpass, and recently, the Flower Pot Interchange. Beyond Accra, we have also delivered the first ever interchanges in the Eastern region at Sohum and in the Northern region at Tamale. Each of these projects tells a story of commitment, foresight, and a Ghana that is continuously moving forward. There are 14 additional interchanges currently underway across Ghana, each at different stages of completion. In Greater Accra, we're building interchanges at Obetemi Lamte Interchange Phase 2, Nungwa, Ajingrano, Bone Barrier, Pram Pram, Dawenya, Savannah, and Tema Motorway Phase 2. In the Ashanti region, ongoing projects include the Swami Interchange Phase 1, Anumanje, Makro, Magazine New Road, Ebusuakura and Abrepo, as well as the PTC interchange in Takoradi in the Western region. These projects represent the scale of our ambition, a commitment to excellence and growth that knows no limits. Mr. Speaker, in aviation, we've expanded airports, including the construction of the Yakubu Tali International Airport in Tamale, the Prempeh I International Airport in Kumasi, the rehabilitation of the Sunyani Airport in Sunyani, and the completion of the Ho Airport in Ho. These projects position Ghana as a hub for regional air travel. Mr. Speaker, over the past 7 years, we have revitalized Ghana's railway sector, undertaking key projects to modernize and expand the network. Notable achievements include the rehabilitation of the 66-kilometer narrow-gauge Western Line from Kojokrom to Takwa, the construction of a 22-kilometer standard-gauge line between Kojokrom and Manso, and securing funding to extend the Western Line from Manso to Huni Valley, connecting to the port of Takoradi. Additionally, a 6-kilometer standard-gauge line in Kumasi is underway, and the Tema Mpakadan line has been completed. Progress of the Ghana-Burkina Faso Railway Project further underscores efforts to enhance regional trade and integration. Mr. Speaker, we have made some good strides in improving the housing sector. Over the period, we built 1,070 affordable houses and broke ground for an additional 800 in the Greater Accra region. We've also established the National Home Ownership Fund, which is delivering 534 homes in Tema Community 22. We delivered the 1,000 homes to the security services and are delivering 600 homes for public servants through the Bungalow Redevelopment Program. Mr. Speaker, the transport sector has also seen the deployment of electric buses in major cities, reducing carbon emissions and aligning with our climate change commitments. These advancements signal Ghana's commitment to building a sustainable transport infrastructure for the future. Behind every completed road and bridge is the story of lives transformed, farmers reaching markets, students accessing schools, and families connected. Mr. Speaker, my government has prioritized the modernization of Ghana's maritime infrastructure, with the Takoradi Harbour standing as a shining example of this commitment. The port has been transformed into a world-class facility, enhancing its capacity to meet the demands of modern trade and of the oil and gas industry. In November 2024, I commissioned the state-of-the-art oil and gas services terminal, a $100 million investment, which serves as a hub for oil field operators, logistics service providers, and other key players in the energy sector. Additionally, I launched a dry bulk terminal and the Atlantic Services Container Terminal, diversifying the port's capabilities and solidifying its role as a critical player in regional and international commerce. We've also begun the processes for the construction of another modern port at Kita. These efforts are positioning Ghana as a leading logistics and shipping hub in Africa, creating jobs, boosting investor confidence, and ensuring sustainable economic growth for our nation. Mr. Speaker, agriculture remains the backbone of our economy, and our investments in this sector have been transformative. Through the distribution of over 2.7 million bags of fertilizers and improved seedlings, we have increased crop yields and enhanced food security. For example, maize production increased by 110%, rice by 48%, and soybean by 150% between 2017 and 2023. The establishment of 140 agricultural mechanization centers and the rehabilitation of irrigation schemes have modernized farming practices and reduced dependence on rain-fed agriculture. The establishment of warehouse facilities under the One District, One House initiative has also helped reduce post-harvest losses by 30%. The net effect of these policies is that our agricultural GDP growth rate rose significantly from 2.7% in 2016 to an average of 5.7% in 2023. Our cocoa sector has also witnessed remarkable improvements, with productivity increasing from an average of 450 kilograms per hectare to 800 kilograms per hectare, making Ghana a leader in sustainable cocoa production. The living income differential policy, a policy agreed to by President Alassane Ouattara of Cote d'Ivoire and myself, under the aegis of the Strategic Partnership Agreement between our two countries, which is a fixed premium of 400 United States dollars per ton, added to the selling price of cocoa beans, irrespective of fluctuations in market prices, ensure that our hard-working cocoa farmers receive a fairer share of the global value chain, indeed, receiving the highest prices in the history of the cocoa industry in Ghana. We were told by the minority leader on the campaign trail and in the presence of the now president-elect that my successor will increase the price per bag of cocoa from the current 3,100 cedis to 6,000 cedis. Our farmers will be very happy when this pledge is realized. In the fisheries sector, Mr. Speaker, the construction of 12 landing sites and cold storage facilities across the coastal regions, along with the commissioning of the Jamestown Fishing Harbor and the Almina Fishing Harbor, has improved livelihoods and reduced post-harvest losses. These interventions have significantly boosted the incomes of our fisher folk and contributed to the sustainability of our marine resources. We have also enforced measures to combat illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, protecting our marine biodiversity for future generations, and proving the doubting Thomas wrong about our commitment to transforming the fisheries industry. Mr. Speaker, Ghana has made significant progress in expanding electricity access, with the electricity access rate increased to 88.85%, up from the 79.3% I inherited. In renewable energy, completed projects such as a 4 megawatt floating solar PV at Bui and a 15 megawatt solar PV at Kaleo, together with a 100 megawatt solar PV under construction at Bui and a mini-grid electrification program in Addo East, have advanced efforts to reach the 10% renewable energy target by 2030. Mr. Speaker, it is worth emphasizing that I inherited a nation plagued by doomsday, but I'm very happy to say that I leave office with the lights on. This achievement did not come without its challenges. When my administration assumed office, we inherited an energy sector legacy debt of $2.5 billion United States dollars. The Energy Sector Recovery Program, developed by government and the World Bank, projected that this debt would balloon to a staggering $12.5 billion United States dollars within 5 years if no decisive actions were taken. We knew that such a scenario would cripple the sector, undermine investor confidence, and plunge the nation back into darkness. Mr. Speaker, we got to work immediately. Through tough negotiations with independent power producers, prudent financial management, and targeted interventions, we've been able to stabilize the sector while keeping the lights on. I'm pleased to report that we've kept the energy sector legacy debt to $2.5 billion, the same level we inherited, and have averted the $12.5 billion debt scenario, despite the rising costs of energy production and the global economic challenges that have unfolded during my tenure. The energy sector has been truly transformed, and I'm leaving office confident that the foundations we have laid will serve this nation well for generations to come. Mr. Speaker, one of the most notable milestones of my administration has been the creation of 6 new regions: Western North, Ahafo, Bono East, Oti, Northeast, and Savannah. This historic achievement responded to decades of passionate advocacy by local communities for a governance structure that brings development closer to the people. Today, these regions stand as evidence of our commitment to equitable development, with enhanced access to public services, infrastructure, and economic opportunities for millions of Ghanaians. Additionally, My administration championed a bold vision for local governance by advocating for the election of Metropolitan, Municipal, and District Chief Executives, MMDCEs. Though the process was unfortunately aborted, I remain hopeful that in the not-too-distant future, this vision will become a reality. Such a reform would deepen democratic accountability and empower citizens to shape their local governance directly, ensuring that Ghana's democracy continues to grow stronger and more inclusive. Mr. Speaker, the youth are the heartbeat of our nation, and we have implemented programs to empower them. From the National Youth Authority reforms to sports infrastructure development, we've ensured that young Ghanaians have the tools and opportunities to thrive. The construction of some 150 AstroTurf pitches across the country and the rehabilitation of existing stadia have boosted Ghana's standing as a hub for international sports, including hosting successfully, despite all odds, the 2023 All-Africa Games. Creating an entrepreneurial climate has been a cornerstone of my administration's vision for empowering Ghana's youth. From the establishment of the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Programs, NEIP, in 2017, with a $10 million United States dollar seed fund, to the transformative Greenhouse Estate Project and Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center in 2020. We have supported 15,000 startups, trained 250,000 young entrepreneurs, and created over 100,000 jobs. Initiatives being implemented by the Ghana Enterprises Agency, GEA, like the Ghana Economic Transformation Program, the Hubs Grant and Acceleration Program, CAP-BUS, U-START, and the Ghana Cares Obantapa Program, have further strengthened this vision, benefiting some 1.6 million Ghanaians and dispersing over 2 billion cedis in loans and grants. These efforts have sparked innovation, created jobs, and laid the foundation for a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem, leaving a legacy of opportunity and growth. Mr. Speaker, in tourism, the Year of Return in 2019 and Beyond the Return initiatives attracted over 1.5 million visitors. These campaigns not only boosted our economy, but also strengthened ties with the African diaspora, positioning Ghana as a premier destination for cultural heritage and investment. The establishment of ecotourism sites and cultural heritage projects has further diversified our tourism offerings, attracting global attention. One of the significant undertakings in this sector has been the renovation of the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. This celebrated site, dedicated to the memory of our first president, Kwame Nkrumah, has been transformed into a world-class facility that honors his legacy and attracts visitors from around the globe. The renovations include modernized exhibits, improved infrastructure, and enhanced visitor experiences, ensuring that the mausoleum remains a symbol of Ghana's rich history and a source of inspiration for generations to come. As visitors walk through the mausoleum, they are reminded of the sacrifices and vision that built the foundations of our nation. The Nationalism Park, which I recently commissioned, and which commemorates other important personalities in our independence struggle, like Nii Kwabena Boni, Usuala Tamanche, and the legendary 3X servicemen of the 1948 Christiansborg Crossroads shooting fame, Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Atipo, and Private Odate Lampe, has also been added to this development, as will be the proposed Heroes Park, whose sword I cut recently, and whose purpose will be to celebrate the legendary Big Six of UGCC fame and other great figures of our path to freedom. Mr. Speaker, our security forces have been equipped with modern tools and training to safeguard the nation. The establishment of forward operating bases, such as the one I commissioned some 2 weeks ago in Ezinlibo, in the Western region, the Barracks Regeneration Project, the equipping of the military and police, with the police receiving helicopters for the first time in our nation's history, the acquisition of advanced surveillance systems and recruitment of over 10,000 police officers have enhanced our capability to combat threats and maintain peace. The successes of our anti-terrorism programs and cross-border security initiatives reflect our commitment to national and regional safety. In line with our commitment to aligning with international military norms and enhancing the authority of our top military officials, I'm pleased, as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, to announce the elevation of the Chief of the Defense Staff, TDS, to the rank of General, and the Chiefs of Staff, the Chiefs of Army Staff, Navy Staff, Air Force, and the Chief of Staff at the General Headquarters to the rank of Lieutenant General or its equivalent. These promotions, alongside our successes in anti-terrorism programs and cross-border security initiatives, position Ghana as a serious player in defense and bolster our international partnerships in peacekeeping and security. In communications, the digitization of public services, including the Ghana card, mobile money interoperability, and e-services, has transformed service delivery and improved transparency. These initiatives have positioned Ghana as a leader in digital transformation on the continent, with over 18 million Ghanaians enrolled in the National Identification System. The expansion of broadband connectivity to rural areas has bridged the digital divide, ensuring inclusive access to the opportunities of the digital economy. Every citizen's ability to engage with technology is a testament to our shared belief in progress and innovation. Mr. Speaker, we have tried to make real many of the slogans that have dominated our public discourse since independence. I'm proud to have approved visa-free travel to Ghana for all African passport holders with effect from the beginning of this year. This is the logical next step to the African Continental Free Trade Area and the workings of the largest trading bloc in the world. All these are essential elements to the realization of the AU's Agenda 2063, which envisages an integrated and connected Africa by 2063. Mr. Speaker, I'm thrilled to state that under my leadership, Ghana has made significant strides in foreign policy, cementing our place as a respected voice on the African and global stage. It was during my tenure that Accra was unanimously chosen by the authority of heads of state and government of the African Union to host the Secretariat of the AFCFTA, a crucial phase in Africa's journey towards economic integration. We also secured Accra as host city of the Climate Vulnerable Forum Secretariat, a grouping of 56 countries, reaffirming Ghana's commitment to leading the fight against climate change for vulnerable nations. As chair of ECOWAS for 2 successive terms, I had the privilege of guiding our region through challenges of political instability and economic recovery. Furthermore, Ghana secured a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council for 2 years, allowing us to contribute meaningfully to global peace and security at a time of unparalleled changes. Indeed, it was Ghana that led the Security Council to adopt Security Council Resolution 2667, which provides for the United Nations to pay from assessed contributions 75% of expenses of UN peacekeeping operations in Africa, a matter that had been in controversy and unresolved for several years. Additionally, Ghana witnessed a moment of immense pride when Shirley Ayoko Botry a distinguished Ghanaian, was elected as Secretary General of the Commonwealth. The first time a Ghanaian and an African woman has held this esteemed position. I hope the House will join me to extend hearty congratulations to our Foreign Minister, Honorable Shirley Ayoko Buchi. Yeah. It is a prestigious position, and I'm sure she'll be a successful Secretary General and bring honor to Ghana. Another feather in the cap of Ghana's recent foreign policy has been the attainment this year of full membership of l'Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie, OIF, of which we have been an associate member for some 18 years. Our country, one of the few to be full members of both the Commonwealth of Nations and La Francophonie, has the opportunity to play a constructive role as a bridge between the Anglophone and Francophone worlds, particularly in Africa, enhancing our influence. These milestones reflect my administration's dedication to advancing Ghana's interests and strengthening our standing in the international community. Mr. Speaker, there is a subject that continues to attract a lot of public discussion, and that is the call by some for a review of the 1992 Constitution, under which we have operated in this Fourth Republic for the past 32 years. Mr. Speaker, there is no perfect constitution anywhere in the world, and with all its shortcomings, I would say that this constitution has served us well. It has provided the platform for the longest period of uninterrupted, stable, constitutional democratic governance in our history. A constitution does not cure the irritations of the democratic process. There's no constitution that will satisfy the desires of those who do not believe in the democratic process. I would suggest that in the approach to the calls for a constitutional review, we should be guided by the old saying, festine lente, the Latin adage for hasten slowly. In this spirit, I'll be forwarding the document prepared and submitted to me by the Constitution Review Consultative Committee on proposals for the review of the Constitution, along with the concerns and suggestions raised, to the President-elect for his consideration as he prepares to assume the responsibilities of leadership. Mr. Speaker, elections are the main planks of the democratic structure. We have just had the 9th set of elections since 1992. The losing presidential candidate called the winner to congratulate him and made a public concession 14 hours after the close of polls, which it is widely agreed were conducted in a competent, free, and fair manner. I doubt there are many such examples anywhere in the world. Yes, we should condemn the outbreaks of violence that followed, and the assumption some had that because a presidential candidate had conceded defeat, the winning party should feel emboldened to cause mayhem. It appeared at one stage that the outburst of violence would overwhelm the police, who, in my view, need to re-examine rapidly their methods for containing such incidents in the future. I say so without prejudice to the excellent job they did in supervising the electoral process itself. I'm hoping that we will soon reach the stage where the unnecessary tensions that are simulated to accompany our elections will disappear, and elections will become simply something that we do, and do without a fuss and with flair. The efficient, praiseworthy manner in which the Jean Mensa-led Electoral Commission has conducted the past two elections of 2020 and 2024 despite their challenges, is a significant contribution to this end. Mr. Speaker, I would like to take the opportunity of this august podium to congratulate again my friend with whom I came into Parliament together for the first time in 1997, President-elect John Mahani Mahama. On his historic comeback victory of 7th December 2022. Assure him of my support and that of all well-meaning Ghanaians, and wish him well in his second term as President of the Republic. And I take the opportunity also to congratulate Dr. Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, the Vice President-elect, the first woman to occupy that status in our history. Mr. Speaker, you and I have made history of a kind these past 4 years, and I must acknowledge the role you played in keeping steady the ship of state and the governance structures of our country. This was the first time the executive has to deal with not just a parliament with the slimmest of majorities, but with a speaker from the opposition party. Mr. Speaker, we found a way to accommodate each other, and the government functioned successfully. I thank you. Mr. Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity also to express my gratitude to the Council of State under the chairmanship of its highly respected traditional ruler, Nana Otuo-Siriboe II Dramini, for the great help it has given me in helping to steer the ship of state to a successful end. Nana and the members of the Council, I thank you very much for your invaluable counsel. Mr. Speaker, as I prepare to leave office on 7th January 2025, I do so with immense gratitude for the trust and confidence the people of Ghana has placed in me over the last 8 years. It has been the highest privilege of my life to serve as president of this great nation. I've done so with an unwavering commitment, boundless energy, and a deep love for Ghana, always guided by the belief that our nation's best years lie ahead. Together we have weathered storms, celebrated victories, and laid the foundation for a brighter, more prosperous future. Reflecting on this journey, I'm filled with pride for what we have accomplished, from the transformative policies in education and healthcare, to the strides in agriculture, digitalization, energy, governance, infrastructure, industry, and trade. These achievements are not mine alone. They also belong to every Ghanaian who has contributed to the collective effort of nation building. We've demonstrated that through unity, resilience, and determination, we can overcome even the greatest challenges. I'm confident that the progress we have made will inspire future generations to dream bigger, aim higher, and achieve more for our beloved Ghana. Mr. Speaker, as I take my final bow, I do so in the certain knowledge that our nation will go from strength to strength, and that freedom and justice has taken hold forever in our body politic. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to hand over a Ghana that is safe, secure, united, and firmly rooted in her attachment to democratic principles and respect for the rule of law. A nation that continues to shine as a beacon of peace and stability in an often traveled Africa and an uncertain world. I leave behind a Ghana that is thriving, one that has navigated significant global challenges with remarkable tenacity, whose economy is steadily rebounding, and whose institutions are operating effectively. It's a Ghana where the youth are being empowered with opportunities to channel their energies into meaningful and productive endeavors, where the arts are beginning to flourish, and where the elderly can grow old in safety and and dignity, and continue to make meaningful contributions to society. I leave behind, Mr. Speaker, a Ghana that is working. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I thank you for your attention. I acknowledge you in my speech.
Where is the clerk? Honorable members, on your behalf, I with all humility convey the gratitude of the Parliament of Ghana to His Excellency the President for the message. The House has heard him. Honorable members, that was just a paraphrase. It wasn't a quote. The quote is, "Minkani ye kra." I thank His Excellency the President for setting the tone for, I believe, a very, very important national discourse as to the state of the nation. And we do this with the core principle of unity in diversity. Democracy is about disagreeing to agree. And we are grateful that Ghanaians and all of you have committed yourself to this concept of multi-party democracy. I will, on your behalf, invite the leaders of the House to have a say. I have enjoyed this opportunity for many years, and I won't be the one to deny my colleagues the same opportunity. So we will start by listening to the minority front bench.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Your Honourable Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to thank His Excellency the President for the message on the state of the nation that he has just delivered. Mr. Speaker, I need to remind you that the people of Ghana have already given their verdict on the true state of the nation. And that verdict was very, very clear. economic hardship, huge debt overhang, high youth unemployment, hopelessness, and more.
And you are thanking him for this.
We have come to the end of the road for what has been undoubtedly the worst government under the Fourth Republic. Honourable Speaker, this abysmal record was confirmed on December 7th when the people of Ghana returned the most overwhelming and emphatic vote of rejection of any government ever witnessed under the Fourth Republic. Mr. President, you will be remembered as the first president who was cushioned by the IMF when you began, and you are still being cushioned at the end of your term. Mr. President, you left something very important in your account. You left out an account of your promise to God to build him a cathedral. But Mr. President, Mr. President, I will leave that for you, between you and your God. Mr. President, let me remind His Excellency, Honourable Speaker, that his tenure in office will remain a timely reminder of how not to govern the country. But let me also be quick to assure the good people of Ghana that hope is on its way. In President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC, we can once again glean a brighter future from the throes of despair. Together we will work hard to lift ourselves from this historic low and reclaim our place, our glory as the Black Star of Africa once again. Fellow Ghanaians, we are comforted and strengthened by the following words of Scripture. And I'm quoting Exodus chapter 14, verse 13. And I quote, "And Moses said unto the people, Fear you not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show you today. For the Egyptians whom you have seen today, you shall see them no more." Bye-bye, Mr. President. It is finished. With that, Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much.
Honourable members, honourable members, honourable members, I have taken note of all those who were on their feet and what they said. But it's now time for me to invite the majority leader, the leader of the House, to have a say.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to say a few words in response to the statement on the state of the nation delivered by His Excellency the President. Mr. Speaker, this is the man who 1997 entered the Chamber of Parliament during the second Parliament of this Republic. He inspired the youth of this country through his advocacy. Hansa testifies of his great work in the chamber of this house. Then, as students, we sat at the gallery to observe and to take inspiration from him. Mr. Speaker, through resilience, through firmness of conviction, he tried over and over again and made it to the presidency. Mr. Speaker, today he has fulfilled a constitutional obligation to boldly deliver for Hansa his records in office for the 8 years. Mr. Speaker, it may be that for some political expedients, we may not appreciate what he has done for this country. But, Mr. Speaker, history, in its fair judgment, will state that there came an Akufo-Addo whose record in the educational sector of our country was unmatched and unequaled. Mr. Speaker, this is a man who is never afraid of challenges that confront him.
Honorable members, please, silence. Let's listen to the majority leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, he has given us data, which data tells us the record he came to meet and the record he's leaving us with. Mr. Speaker, the Agenda 111, a very ambitious policy to revive our health sector and to provide for the needs, the health needs of the many vulnerable communities, Mr. Speaker, which is also unmatched, is there for all of us to see. Mr. Speaker, above all, this president and his government have demonstrated that they have what it takes to keep our country safe all around us. And by virtue of my being a member of the ECOWAS Parliament, I am able to say on authority the challenges our West African neighbors face in terms of security. This country is safe and secure, and it is a haven for many West Africans who would want to invest in our country. This is a country we must be proud of. Mr. President, your country is proud of you. Democracy has experienced its best under your leadership. Today, we are being told that there's a new hope. That's no problem. It is supposed to be so. But soon, we will see the true colors of the umbrella. So, Mr. Speaker, I would want to say to my colleagues that you are yet to take over. We would be watching you for the next 4 years. And if indeed you have transformed, we will see with our naked eyes. This is a government that came into office and faced major challenge which confronted the world all over, but demonstrated resilience. This is a government that ensured that in spite of the COVID, all government sector workers were paid. This is a government that kept the lights on. This is a government that ensured that over 5.7 million Ghanaians had access to education. And Mr. Speaker, I would want to relate to this issue of free SHS. It took the grace of God for me to complete secondary education because my mom could not afford, my stepdad could not afford. It took the grace of God. And I know there were many Ghanaians who could not afford free SHS and because could not afford secondary education and had to stay at home. We know in our communities today, all those who could not get free SHS benefited from it when Akufo-Addo assumed office. Mr. Speaker, TVET was also implemented for those who are placed at the lowest ebb of fortune's wheel to also get advantage of getting technical education. This is it. This is the record that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is leaving us with. Mr. Speaker,
honorable members, honorable members, honorable members, please, let's be guided by the lessons of the wise saying that if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go further, you go together. I'm sure as honorable representatives of your people, you understand the full import of this wise saying. With this, honorable members, once again, let me thank all of you for creating a conducive environment and for assisting me to host His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We will now proceed to do what is expected of us, and that is to adjourn the sitting for today. Honorable members, the House stands adjourned till tomorrow. You don't want to come to work? Oh. Actually, we don't have time. And so I wanted you to come for us to do something tomorrow. But if you say you are available only on Monday, you prefer tomorrow. Monday. Honorable members, I get the sense of the House and will accordingly adjourn to Monday at 10 in the forenoon. The House is accordingly adjourned. You will go around with him.